My last gardening project of today is to pull out these potato bags and see what we've got and get them curing for long-term storage. I've pulled one out. Just gonna dump it into the wheelbarrow, sift out any potatoes we have, and then my favorite coffee shop, Dark Canyon Coffee here in Rapid City, periodically has burlap bags that they get their coffee beans in, and I'm going to use those to store them in my root cellar in the basement. But after I cure them in the dry air first. So I used the same soil that was in the bottom of these from last year, which was obviously just dirt, way too compacted. I'm sure that contributed to why I didn't get much for potatoes last year, and it continues to be just rock hard in there, so I'm gonna have to work on that. I don't know if there's any potatoes in there, but I bet not. I planted the potatoes on top, the seed potatoes on top of that. So now we're sifting through what was peat moss on top, and I do have some potatoes, which is exciting. More than just the 3 seeds that I put in, which is what happened last year. Look at that little tiny guy. Proud of that one. There's my tag. Unfortunately, I have not been able to come up with an indelible tag that doesn't fade, so obviously these are red potatoes, but which kind, I can't tell you. So I'm going to do this for all 5 potato bags. I'll have to chip away at the soil that's in the bottom and gather up my entire potato harvest. I planted 3 different kinds, so that's not a very good yield. For 3 seed potatoes, I got 6 more potatoes. We'll see how the rest do. All right, I emptied the hard-packed just dirt that was in the bottom of these for 2 years into the mixture on top that was peat moss. Got the potatoes out from that bag. Found one more, not a huge yield, but I mixed it up so that it'll lighten up that existing soil that was in there with the peat moss that was on top this summer. And I'm gonna shovel this back in the bag. The third bag is, I think these are probably Yukon Gold or some other, I don't recall what I planted, but this looks like might be a little more promising. What I wanted to show you is that, 3/4 of a wheelbarrow full of planting medium fills one of these 6-gallon, I believe they were 6-gallon potato bags. And I'll include a source in the links below in the description box where I got those and which ones they were. I researched those to make sure they were sturdy and wouldn't rot, but would still breathe. But we'll dig through here and see if our third bag gives us better yields. I've emptied all 6 potato bags, put the soil back in, mixed it. Some of the hard soil on the bottom was from the previous year, and I'm also remembering that when I planted, I added some of the sod that I turned upside down when I dug the strawberry bed and put the arch in. So some of that hard stuff at the bottom was from that, but it decomposed nicely. I mixed it in with the peat moss. The potatoes really seemed to like the peat moss. I'm not sure hilling did anything because they all seemed to be growing right at the base where they were planted. I put 3 seed potatoes in each bag. So I bought 18 seed potatoes, and this is my yield. About the same as last year. Kind of disappointing. You know, maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 potatoes per 3 seed potatoes. That's pathetic. Anyway, I had 2 bags of red potatoes. I looked through my notes, and I wasn't going to plant potatoes this year, but I ended up deciding to last minute, and I forgot to write down what I had, and the tags, of course, are faded. But I had 2 bags of red potatoes, 2 bags of yellow or possibly Yukon Gold, and then that's the extent. So I'm going to let these cure just on the burlap in the basement, where the rest of my cooler pantry storage is at about 70 degrees or less. So once again, I'm faced with the decision, was it worth it to try to even grow potatoes? Yeah, I have the satisfaction of having my own homegrown potatoes, but I feel like those grow bags could be used better with that real estate. And I'd have to check companion planting, but I think you can plant nightshade families together, so being that there are probably some teeny tiny seed potatoes in there, it might regrow potatoes or affect something else I planted in there. But I think, because I still have this idea that I'd like to overwinter my peppers so that I don't have to start from scratch every year and put them in the heated garage. So possibly I might put those in there and then drag the bags into the garage for the winter. We'll see.